night right before y'all sleeping, we're coming through your speakers and TV. And so, MJ, y'all about to beat it to us. Welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast. I am your host, Charlie, with my angels, Melanie and Byronique. Welcome back.
Not this one with the Michael Jackson glove, bitch. Oh my god. You better over here rock and roll.
You know what show is about to be because you see our girl, friend of the show, actress, comedian, and she is on Netflix. Yep, we have a friend on Netflix, okay? Byronique Barbie, welcome back, and you deserve an applause just for that.
I love it.
Yes. How are you? Welcome back. There's so much to get into. We have a jam-packed. Every time you're on, it's always a show, it's always a kiki, it's always fun. So we have so much to get to because, as y'all see, I'm trying to do my best, MJ.
Good job. The little hat.
The little hat and the one of it, that era where he wore the white t-shirts.
Yes.
You know, we're gonna get into Michael. You're here to give your review, but I think we're gonna have a little debate too.
No, we're not gonna have a debate. We're gonna have opposing views.
Right.
Yeah.
Tomato. But we have so much to get into because first, I had a great weekend. I had Uncle Duty weekends. My nephews came to visit me in New York, the first time in New York, and I was so excited. I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect this, but I kind of choked up. After they left, I'm like, I did not expect that. We took them to the museum. We also went to the Madame Tussauds museum as well. We took them to the Smart Museum, Natural History, which they enjoyed. But it was, after a while, I could sense their aura, like, okay.
Yeah, they were like, I thought there were gonna be video games here.
But then I took them to the Wax Museum, and there they had a ball. We had such an amazing time while they were here. So I'm very, very thankful for that because I love kids. Obviously, it's a field that, I also work in. So to have my nephews here and show them New York and live through them, it was like so dope. Melanie was with us for part of it as well. So it was a fun time.
That was in full effect.
Right.
First of all, I love your nephews. I think that they're adorable, but they're also so funny. They have their own personalities and they love holding my hand. I love that. And it goes quick because, as they get older, they don't do that anymore. My favorite part was when they went to Kevin McAllister's house, aka Home Alone. I took them to the Plaza Hotel. I was like, come on, your bougie auntie we got places to be. But no, it was fun. That was really sweet, and I can't wait to see them again. Yeah, this weekend was packed, honey.
Yes. And then let's talk about, Michael the movie dropped, but before we get into that, you may not be able to say much because when you do things like this, you have to sign non-disclosure agreements and but yesterday, Melanie had one of her dreams come true, which I'm so excited for you that you was able to experience. You made your Watch What Happens Live Clubhouse debut.
Yeah.
That deserves, let's give it up for that. Honey.
That's what that post was.
So excited. Again, I know, say what you could say, but how was it? How was the experience?
It already aired. It was live. So I feel like there's not much I can't say. But first of all, I want to give a big shout out to my good friend, Chef Ed Cotton. Ed is part of the Bravo universe. He was one of the semi-finalists of Top Chef, I think season 6. And that was around the time that Andy Cohen was executive producing the show. So they're really good friends. And Andy Cohen reached out to Chef Ed, asking him to be the bartender for Watch What Happens Live for last night's episode because Ed is promoting his new restaurant that he's opening in June, Derby Club, that I helped open as well.
Okay.
And we always talked about this, that like if he were to go back on Watch What Happens Live, that he would take me, and he did. I had my own little green room with him. Like we met the stars. I was excited because the episode was for Summer House, and I don't know, Byronique, I don't know if you watch Summer House or have heard the mess that's going on.
Oh,
Bravo child, a girl was best friends with a girl, and she ended up separating from her husband to date the best friend's ex-boyfriend, and they've been hooking up for mad long.
but why that sound like what happened on Vanderpump with?
Yes, because it's like Scandival 2.0. That's why.
Yeah, Scandival. There we go. Yeah.
There isn't enough men in New York that you guys have to hook up with each other's friends. That's disgusting.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, Team Sierra. But also, I had a great time. The clubhouse is small. It's like way smaller than you think. Like TV makes that shit look so
Yeah,
good.
it do.
Yeah.
I got to network with people that I'm just like, I was in the right place at the right time. I'm so happy. And like, yeah, I've been a freaking virtual audience member during COVID before I asked questions. This time I didn't ask a question. I just sat down with a drink and I was like having a great time. But to be there was like life
That
made.
is amazing. I'm happy for you, girl.
We've seen Andy plenty of times, and we've even met him.
I know
So
y'all
have
have.
that experience there.
I've seen him, but you know what? Ed was like, you know him, right? And I was like, I've met him about like a handful of times, but he doesn't remember anybody. He's such a stoner. He doesn't remember anyone. And then he was like, hi, how are you, gorgeous? And I was just like, hi. I'm not trying. I was like, hey, like, I'm not the type of person to be acting like, oh my God, I know you, I met you, blah, blah, blah. So, and then there were people there, like the New York housewife, Erin Leachy was there. She was super sweet. But yeah, it was a great time. I'm glad that I went.
What was she doing there, anyways?
She sat on the Oprah chair. She was there. She's friends with Lindsay Hubbard, who's from Summer House, who was in the interview. And she was like, there's so much drama happening right now that we're taping during Roni that I needed a break for tonight. And I was just like, oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
I got the tips.
I said, say hi to Roni stepping up there, puss.
Exactly. I said, say hi to Side the Silver for me. But yeah, it was a great time. And you know what I loved about it? I'm not even gonna bullshit. The fact that I got to come back home at a decent time and go right to sleep.
That
that's my jam.
Oh Lord, tell us your age without telling us your age.
I am medium aged.
We are medium age. Shout out to Ray. But let's get into another big weekend event that happened this past weekend. Finally, the anticipated, long-awaited biopic of Michael Jackson was released, earning the biggest. And I seen some. I had to before I reported it. I'm glad I seen all the reports, but earning the biggest opening ever for biopic. Now it's not it hasn't made the most money ever because that still goes to, I believe, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody made a lot.
Yeah, they're up there, but that was long term. So obviously Michael just came out, so we gotta see. I'm sure it'll beat it. No pun intended. I swear to God, I try to be with my words, but I didn't. No pun intended with that one. But Barbie, I didn't see it. Disclaimer, I didn't see it. I was thinking about going to see it on Sunday, take myself on a me date.
Right.
But I'm just gonna take myself on a me trip. And so I held off. Melanie watched it on Sunday. We're not gonna say how because we don't want to get in trouble. Oh, we don't want
don't be snitching.
Well, you went to the theaters and you seen it. So
and I've seen it twice already.
I've seen the old movie.
Yeah, I went on Saturday with my family, and then I went yesterday with my friends.
Yeah, so
did you catch certain things the second time that you didn't catch the first time?
That always happens a little bit. That always happens. So I feel like I was so tapped in the first time, though. Ain't nothing past me. Like but it does like help. And I'm probably gonna go see it a third and a fourth time, to be honest with y'all, in the theaters. I mean, for the Barbie movie, I went to see that about 3 or 4 times. So for MJ, I gotta do better than that, you know. So
let's get into it. What were your thoughts? Like, out of 5 glove hats, 5 glove hands, 5
right.
being the best. Yes, girl. There you go. And 1 being the worst. What would you give it? What would be the rating? And just get into your review. Like, what were, they're talking about a part 2. So I'm assuming he didn't die in part 1. Mm-hmm. So without giving it away, tell us what's your review? Take it away.
I mean, to be honest, I give it a 20 out of 10 or whatever you want to say. That's me. First off, I respect so much that this is family. It's family that they put in his shoes. You know what I mean? This isn't just somebody that they had to hold auditions and all this. This is somebody that is family. This is his full brother's son, stepped into this role. This is somebody that I'm sure was around his uncle, you know what I mean? Like growing up many times, holidays and things like that. So this is somebody that had a real insight to who he really was in his life and how he moved and how he handled his business. So, with the film, I felt that the biggest takeaway that I've been seeing online is, people saying, the movie was too much about Joe, about the dad. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I want to say just about Joe, we all know, you understand what I'm saying, what kind of parent Joe was and how hard he was. But let's just for a minute think.
He's a Leo.
What if Joe had said, what if he had been so hard on his kids and Michael, and then one day Michael just said, which I'm sure Michael probably did say at some point, I don't even want to sing no more because you're not making this fun for me. You're making it hard. I don't want to sing no more. I don't want to dance, fuck all this. And then imagine if Joe would have been the kind of dad that'd been like, okay, well, I'm finna go have a beer and fuck it. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Then the world, we would never have Michael. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes tough parenting is necessary, but it comes at a cost to that parent. You're going to eventually lose your child because at first when the child is young, it's going to be fear. They're going to fear you. That's why they're going to do what you say. And then as they grow, that fear is going to turn into resentment. And then at some point hate, and then they're going to push you away completely when they're an adult, because they can make that decision. Mm-hmm. But that's the parent is going to have to deal with that. So I'm sure Joe, was a smart man. He got his kids to be where they are. I'm sure he understood that and was willing to make that sacrifice to push his kids to be great. Because like I said, if he wouldn't have done what he did and been the way he was, who knows if we would have had Michael. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I know I'm the type that I need a push. I need somebody to get on my ass for me to do something sometime. And that's not easy to admit. I wish I wasn't like that, all the time. Some things I get my ass up and I get in here and I do it myself. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, a lot of shows, a lot of films I have done or whatever, a lot of projects I would have not done had I not had people on my ass. Like, Byronique, go do this audition, go do this. So, I hated to see, some of that, it brought back PTSD for me, get my ass whooped as a kid growing up, because them ass whoopings wasn't no joke. When you black, I'm sure y'all had some ass whoopings too. Y'all, I got PTSD though. For a minute, I had to kind of turn my head in the theater, like, oh hell to the no. Especially when you're watching the movie with the person that beat your ass, but that's a whole nother story. But I feel for them because I know what they went through. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly, but I have a close, resemblance to what they went through. Mm. But, at the same time, I gotta give Joe some respect for what he did for his kids because he made them what they is. And like what he said, in the movie, if it wasn't for me, we would y'all still probably be some broke kids in Indiana, working at Walmart. Who knows where Michael would be? You know what I'm saying? And it's not that Michael didn't have his talent and it wouldn't have naturally come out later. But to be honest, you know, you have to have your family support behind you to really push you to do things, especially, you know, when you coming up in the entertainment industry as a kid. So I feel like, you know, Joe, he did it the only way he knew how to do. Because if you think about it, that shit made me think back to slavery and how slavery, you know, the slaves used to see the master whoop the slaves, and then they submit, right? So that transitioned and went generations into, well, if I need my kids to listen to me, I'm gonna beat their ass and they're gonna fall in line. You know what I'm saying? So it brought up a lot of things for me. But as far as the acting goes with Jafar, I think Jafar has done an excellent job, because I've seen the musical of Michael Jackson, and I've met many Michael impersonators in the streets and in Vegas and in, you know, at the Queen Mary, all over the place, you know.
All the resorts.
Yeah.
All over.
Michael Jackson is living in Dominican Republic, Chad.
And Mexico too.
Yeah,
see, they're all over. They're all over. And I am so thankful, you know, that they were able to give this role to a family member, because at many times I really thought I was watching Michael again. And I really was like, oh, wait, this his nephew. Like, wait a minute, this ain't really him. I'm thinking I'm at home watching like Moonwalker or some of my DVDs that I got. Like, that's how, to me, in tune he was with his uncle and with the role and with what he had to do. Now, you know, some people want to say the dancing could have been better. I mean, of course, can't nobody be Michael. I mean, understand that. You get what I'm saying? Nobody can be Michael. But I feel like he did a phenomenal job with the dance moves, with the routines, with the demeanor and the way that Michael carried himself. And I don't feel that anything that was said in this story, in this part one of the story that's possibly a part two, was not accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm hearing people say, like, first off, this is a big thing. A lot of people turn they back on Michael Jackson. You understand what I'm saying? And his own community, our own people, the black people turn they back on him, saying that he wanted to be white and all this. He changed his, you know, and so I get kind of upset when like something like this happens, and now everybody want to act like they was a Michael fan. Like, you was not a supporter like that. You feel me? You trying to jump on the social media bandwagon so you could get some views and some follows and some likes. Like, people have really turned their back on him, especially his community, and they didn't even really know what was really going on with him in his life, you know. So I think about that a lot too. And a lot of people don't even really know his true story. But if you do, then you would know, like, his family was hands-on with this film. So that's what I was proud to see too, is that I knew it was going to be good, because this is not like the outside Hollywood producers and, you know, trying to speculate about, oh, this is how it happened, or this is what happened. This is the real family. And I'm sure his family would not allow things to be placed in this movie that were not true.
So,
well, I got some conflicting views.
Yeah, what would you say though, real quick, Melanie? What would you say in general for the people like me who haven't seen it, because they're talking about a part two already? So clearly, if you're reading the reports, you know he doesn't die. We're gonna do a part two.
It's set in like the early, like when it starts in like from the 60s all the way to the 80s, and it stops right before the 90s, right before the accusations, the child molestation accusations. It stops with that. It ends with like the biggest thing that happened during that time in the movie is when he had the Pepsi commercial and his head got set on fire. Okay. But I'm gonna go on a deep dive real fast. For me, the movie was kind of mid. I would give it, out of 5 gloves, I would probably give it 3. And that's me being generous, because I love Michael Jackson. I've loved Michael Jackson since I was a little girl. I've always listened to his music. My stepbrothers, when they moved here from Dominican Republic, would play the Thriller album like literally on rotation to learn English. So I know all those songs like the back of my head. Now, the part where Jafar Jackson gets the role, I think that everyone it's not fair to put this Nepo baby on this like pedestal because he's the nephew of Michael. I think, granted, he looks just like him, he sounded like him, and it makes sense for him to be the actor as his uncle or whatever, but I don't think he doesn't have like the acting chops. That was one thing that I didn't like. The acting, even Nia Long, girl, like her acting was terrible. She acted like a submissive woman, which
but that's how Catherine really was.
Yeah, exactly. Catherine was.
And then Coleman Domingo, all the gayness left his body, and he's like this straight, angry man. I met Joe Jackson. That's a story for another time.
We both did.
We both did, unfortunately. And you can tell his presence just seems like a very angry man, negative man. And like, I feel that the Jacksons, An American Dream movie, that is the movie that actually like panned out and actually made more sense. This seemed very like cliche to me, to be honest, because we all know that he loved animals. We all know that he would spend money on lavish things that really wasn't necessary. It was basically written by his family, but also these are the same people that kind of turned their backs on him when he was going through shit. LaToya Jackson co-signed him being a molester.
But then she said her husband made her do it.
So your husband made you say some shit about your own brother, your own blood, the one that supplied money to your family, because you want for some dick? That is crazy. That's why I don't believe her, and that's why she's a weirdo, and her nose looks the worst. Janet Jackson is nowhere to be found on in this movie.
She did not want to be included.
She didn't want to be included. She didn't co-sign it. Paris Jackson, his own daughter, didn't want to be part of it. They didn't even talk about
Rebe either, but his other sister Rebe didn't want to be.
Well, Rebe ain't never really dealt with the family, honey. She been gone. But
I just feel like a lot of people rode on his coattails, his brothers included, and for them to act. There was a part in the movie, spoiler alert, where he wants to hang out with his brothers, and like his brothers gave him no time of day, and they were like, "We're grown, we're not playing like that no more." And also, to piggyback on your comment about sometimes you got to give your kids tough love, that tough love could be provided in a different way. You don't need to beat the shit out of my ass for me to get in line and for me to become a successful person, because I'm going to resent you and I'm going to take the fruits of the labor that I created away from you. The way that the father, Joe Jackson, used to act, it was almost like a God complex. Like, oh, you have all this because of me. No, Michael was going to get it no matter what, because he has talent. Whether he sang, whether he was forced to sing and perform in his living room, or he got signed by a talent scout, somehow, some way, Quincy Jones was going to find him. So I just feel like at the end of the day, they tried to make it seem like, have some pity for Joe because he did a lot. He like, I don't know, I sacrificed a lot, but at the same time, it doesn't put him in a positive light. I don't know. I really didn't like the movie. It was very cliche. It was like basically a copy and paste, but like a watered down version of the other movies.
My question for that, because I seen mixed reviews. Even my brothers, when they came in on Friday, they was like, "Oh yeah, have you seen the Michael movie?" I'm seeing a lot of mixed reviews. So yes, it is very mixed reviews, but I mean, money don't lie. The money's there, honey. People went to see
Everyone's gonna go to listen to the songs. That's why I watched it.
But my question, because I didn't watch it, so I'm listening to a thing. What would you want it? After seeing it, what would have been your expectations, or what did you think you would see or get from the movie? What would have been your expectations?
I wanted more. I wanted to see more of his personal life, like actually people that he was dating, what he did on his spare time besides hanging out with the monkey bubbles. What who in the industry, like, talk about how him and Prince didn't really fuck with each other and people tried to keep them together. There was no they were literally, it was like literally a bubble, like a circle of just people, his family, and like people that worked with him. There was no outsiders. Like if like the world didn't matter, like there was no other artist, just Michael Jackson in this movie, and that's not realistic.
It's funny how you mentioned that.
Collaborations. He did collaborations with other artists. Like no artist was on here. That doesn't make sense.
Well, to add to what you're saying, Diana Ross, there was a report that came out that Diana Ross, initially Kat Graham, I don't know if you guys know who Kat Graham is, she was casted to play Diana Ross. And even had fittings and stuff. There's pictures out there that I guess show like the cast and other people. But last minute, I guess Diana like did a Janet and Reby and was like, no. Because allegedly the way the internet and the world is now, they painted it out to seem that they painted it out to seem that if she would have made the movie, people would have been like, what is Diana Ross, who was so much older than Michael, doing?
It was like 20, 25 years older, or 22 years older than him.
Yeah, and then, you know, people are saying grooming. But listen, we live in a world where everyone wants to speculate and stuff. I don't know. We don't know. But point is, Diana Ross was supposed to be played by Kat Graham. Last minute, Diana Ross didn't sign off. Like, she didn't want to be in it either.
She didn't want this coming her way.
Yeah.
I think that people are so quick. When it comes to Michael Jackson, some people remember his songs right away, remember Thriller, and then other people remember the alleged child molestation cases and stuff. The scandal part. And it's like, y'all trying to make more of a scandal than there should be. With the whole Diana Ross thing, I think as a man, I think Michael saw a woman who was in her prime, who their lives are kind of parallel in the sense. What is she from the Brewster Projects? But anyway, she basically left the Supremes, did her own thing. He left the Jacksons, did his own thing. And basically he wanted to have the same stardom that she did, if not more. They just happened to like have songs and like perform together and stuff, and it vibed. Apparently he also had a crush on her. What's wrong with that? I don't think she gave him the time of day. If she did give him the time of day, she wouldn't have been with his producer, Berry Gordy. She wouldn't have been with the other guy that she was with. I don't think that they dated. I feel like people, it annoys me that people want to rewrite history instead of like seeing it for what it is. Don't try to just put one like little level of history and like debunk the rest. Yeah.
Right.
It's annoying.
Reverse it, like Missy would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Byronique, I know you love him. I love him too in my own way. I've had dreams.
We all love Michael Jackson.
Right.
I've had dreams since I was little that he would be sipping tea talking to my mom. I don't know why. I'm like, why are you talking to him? Like,
I tell you. Before we get into you know what you think about that, Byronique, because again, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really counter or
are you gonna see the movie?
Oh yes, but with that being said, you know, to talk real quick about my experience. Listen, I'm a Michael fan too. I grew up with him, and this is why I know this man is like really even beyond his death, like still worldwide. Like we travel. I've traveled many freaking resorts, and there's always a lookalike and a whole thing of Michael, and people really sit down and watch it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know the song. You might be in a resort that everyone speaks Spanish, and the one thing everyone knows, this is hilarious. Even like in DR, like that guy Fruta from Alofoque. Byronique, you don't even know what this is about, but this guy doesn't know a lick of English, and he was trying to sing the "We Are the World" song.
Oh,
yeah. Listen, so it goes back to, for me, he's worldwide. For me, I grew up with Michael. I grew up with Michael Jackson. My parents, you know, it was always a big deal, even in Puerto Rico. Like you felt Puerto Rico freeze when it was like Thriller was gonna premiere or this was gonna premiere. Like it was that big of a big. He was even that big of a big deal in Puerto Rico. Me as a kid growing up, like it would be like a las 8 el estreno de Michael Jackson blah blah blah, whatever the video was. He was that big of a big deal down there, and from Puerto Rico and then coming to the States, obviously he was big here. So I grew up with Michael. I love Michael, and unfortunately, I also grew up with loving the music, loving the artist, and also hearing the scandal. Oh, he wanted to be white. Oh, he's a molester, allegedly, and all that stuff. Yeah. So, listen, with him, there's just something that I've always separated the artist from the thing, and there's something from the scandal, but there's always some. I don't know. There's some artists where you're like guilty. Yeah, get that motherfucker. He deserves it. I don't know. There's something in my spirit that.
I felt some
didn't feel like he did.
Exactly. It was all about, and that's why I feel like part one of the film made sense. And I will say this is the only negative thing, but I didn't really say it. My brother said it, but he said the film felt rushed. And I said, well, nigga, of course it felt rushed. You know how much Michael Jackson's life, you know how much, and they got to condense that.
It was 1 hour and 58 minutes.
So
make it 3 hours. Who gives a fuck? There's longer movies out there.
Right?
The thing is, in today's society, we already know motherfuckers ain't sitting in the theater like they was back in the 90s for Titanic for a 4-hour goddamn movie about white people going down in the ship, RIP. But that people not doing that no more. Ain't nobody finna sit at no damn theater for 4 hours. Come on now. Like
it's gonna go to streaming.
Even with the American Dream movie on BET, they had to do it in 2 parts. You know what I mean? Because wasn't nobody sitting there for that long of time, and they damn sure ain't finna do it now. So I feel like, making it multiple movies makes it like they did Wicked, part 1, part 2. But I feel like, part 1 made sense because it's more so getting from childhood up until right before all the scandal began. And then that's when part 2 is going to pick up, and we're going to get more into his personal life, more into his collaborations. But I feel like part 1 wanted to focus more in on the family dynamic, the situation with his father, how his mother was. And I really, truly, I love the way Angela Bassett played it, but we already know how Angela Bassett.
Not Angela Bassett, Nia Long.
No, I'm talking about in America.
Bassett played
now we know Nia Long and Angela Bassett played it very different. And if I'm going to be very honest with you, I love the way Angela played it, but I feel like it's more.
She barely had any lines.
I feel like it's more accurate with the way that Nia Long played it. I feel like Catherine had to be submissive. I feel like when you're dealing with a man like that, you get what I'm saying? I mean, like the kids came home from a late night show and she's like, okay, y'all go get ready for bed. And then Joe, oh no, hell no, they finna practice. And it's like you try to speak up, but back in those days, we got to realize the man was in charge. The man was in charge. The man was making the money. The man was making the decisions. So as a woman, know your role, know your place. You can only do and say so much. But I do feel bad as there was a part that was really touching where Catherine, apologized to Michael and said, I should have did more to protect you. And that is very, very true. She should have done more. Those are your children. Those came out of, forgive me, your pussy. You know what I mean? You give your life for your kids. You know what I mean? I don't have kids, but I had a fur baby right there. And I would have gave my life for that damn dog. You understand what I'm saying? So I couldn't imagine what I would do for a human child. And for you to let your husband, I understand this was a different time and a different day, but for you to let your husband sit up there and let's just say what it was, abuse your children. And like I said, I can understand the other side of why Joe did what he did, why a lot of black parents do what they do. They beat the hell out their kids. Slavery fucked black people up. We all know that. It's understood, but and it's hard for some people to break them generational curses. But the situation is when you're a mother, you are supposed to stand up to anybody, for yours, you know what I mean, that came out of you, that you have this bond with. And I'm sure Catherine, even today, I'm sure she regrets not trying to do more than what she did. But like I said, back in them, I see Catherine as my grandma, because my grandma was real, sensitive and soft and gentle like that. You know what I mean? And my grandpa took advantage of that. So, men will take advantage when they know you're a real sweet, kind woman. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's sad because I don't want to say I can't relate because I really can't, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, actually. But I feel like in a household where I grew up seeing my grandmother being the pants of the fucking operation. Meanwhile, my grandfather was a fucking lieutenant for like the president of DR. And then my mother being the same way, I can't relate to that type of woman. However, when you have a weak ass man, like let's say for example, the DeBarge family, you know El DeBarge and the DeBarge siblings and stuff. Yeah. He was very hands off. The only time he was hands on was when allegedly he was doing bad things to his children, abusing them or whatever, but not in the sense like Joe Jackson. Right. What happened to their stardom? They all became like literal drug addicts, and like some of them died, some of them are homeless.
Allegedly, do y'all believe the rumor about Rebe, I believe, that she was sexually assaulted by Joe?
I don't know. She was apparently allegedly
molested, not sexually assaulted.
LaToya was also, but then she recanted the statement.
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything LaToya Jackson got to say.
Yeah, LaToya needs to sit her crazy ass down somewhere. Now, Rebe, that would make sense because I always heard like my family say Rebe Ben got the hell up out of their house and she don't really deal with her family. She's kind of like the lone wolf, you know, she's kind of just.
It's like that a lot with older children.
Yeah, and she's the firstborn, you know, so, you know, obviously because, yeah, I don't even know if they depicted her in American Dream barely. I barely knew they had an older sister. I thought it was.
There's like 11 of them total, but my thing with Joe, why didn't it really show his indiscretions? Like, why didn't they say that he had another baby out of wedlock or like, that he was talking to other women? I
feel like they ain't even had time to get to all that yet. And that's why I told my brother said, oh, it feels rushed. I'm like, well, do you know how much is to this story? Like, you know, they have to try to pick and prioritize what can be put into this film, what can be put into the next.
I don't think that they prioritize. I think that they basically cherry picked what looked and felt right for the family. The family is going to hide whatever scandal or whatever situation or story that doesn't make them look in a positive light. That's why they did what they did. I don't think it was that they didn't have time. You got all the time in the world.
If they were gonna hide it, then why does Janet have a problem with the movie? You know what I mean? Or
Janet has a problem because she feels that they are making money out of like snippets of Michael's life that are already out there. You're basically exploiting your brother, your dead brother at this point.
But do you think that's Janet's specific problem? Or did she say that?
I don't even know. I didn't really look into why she's not part of it. I just heard she said, my name is Bennett and I'm not in it.
Yeah. Right. She said respectfully she declined. That's what LaToya said. And we know
Paris Jackson, his daughter, basically was like, I don't like the way that shit is depicted. Even though Prince Michael Jackson, the son,
executive produced.
He's
one of the executive producers.
Let's keep it a stack. What is this kid doing besides, like, I know he graduated from college and started some like meal delivery app or something like that. Like, he's gonna lean on by any means necessary. The same way that like Biggie Smalls' daughter is opening a steakhouse in the name of her father. Like, are you a chef? That's weird. But kids are gonna do whatever they're gonna do with their family's legacy.
Of course, and why not? I would think their parents would want them. I would think their parents, for money, especially in our climate and stuff, and they're not around. I would think my mom wouldn't mind if I opened a Joanne's bakery or something. You're like, hell yeah, Poppy, make some money. I ain't there, but make some money.
But you're doing it with the intention to celebrate the legacy of your mother.
But
whereas this movie seems like they're doing it, but they're also rewriting history and like only choosing the parts that depict them in a good light.
Obviously,
like the worst thing that they said was that Joe grabbed the belt and beat Michael. Please, that's like everybody got their ass beat. I got my ass beat with extension cords.
But you know what? And a lot of people said that, you know, they said that, oh, the reason Rotten Tomatoes and all this has rated this so low is because they want scandal. People always want to see the bad. People always want to see you doing bad in your life. They don't want to see the good. You know what I mean?
It's actually the people, because the movie's gotten great reviews.
Oh,
it's where it's mixed. It's more of the people, or the 10% of the internet world, because it's more than that thing. But I've seen and read great reviews from the critics. It's the people where it's mixed reviews. Or when I see the Entertainment Tonights and the podcasting, when they're reporting about the mixed reviews, they're going more about the people, not critically from the professionals. It's getting great reviews. I just think, obviously, especially with your son as an executive producer and the family and stuff involved, of course they're gonna want to.
Did you see him?
Who?
Prince was in the movie. Prince Jackson, his son. He was like, when Jafar comes out and like they're about to film the Pepsi commercial, he's standing on the corner as like one of the cameramen or like the people there. So he did a little cameo debut. Okay, extra money in the pocket because he's an extra or an actor. You know what this movie reminded me of? And I hate to say this, Charlie, don't come at me. It reminds me of Britney Spears' book, Piece of Me, or whatever it was called. I felt she chose to put certain aspects of her life that we already fucking knew and like sprinkle in some things that we didn't know, but we kind of like sort of had like an inkling about, and then called it That's My Life. Peace out. Like, that's not, there's more.
Why is she wrong for saying that though? What if it would give her PTSD, or she don't want to relive, especially if this
write a book. It's not an autobiography.
She just wants to tell the parts of her life that, because we all can.
She's a private citizen. I mean, I get it.
But as a private citizen, I wouldn't release.
You wouldn't write a book, but
my thing is, if that's the case, then say this is all that I'm willing to share. There's more to my life that I don't want to share.
You don't follow her. You don't follow her. Wait. Because now I gotta defend a little bit. And
I don't follow her because she is fucked up the way that Michael Jackson got fucked up by their parents.
Okay,
they still yearn to be children.
Okay, so you don't follow her, but she's posted since a long time ago, since the release of the book, that yes, she should have shared more, and there's a lot that she hasn't shared. She said that,
and that's great. Maybe she could do like a trilogy, and that's great. Yes. But she's here, she's present, she was there to do it. Michael wasn't. Michael's family is speaking for him. And also, to be honest, in his last days and shit, I don't think he was around family that much. Like, I don't think he was around family.
Well, they ain't even got into all that yet, so we're going to see what that's going to be about.
If this part 2 does not come up and talk about the allegations, I'm telling you, this shit is like one-sided.
And see, that's where it's going to get into, and that's why I enjoyed this film so much. Because I don't want to hear about all that bullshit. I don't want to relive all that bullshit where they was fucking talking about he want to be white and he want to dye himself and the nose jobs and the raping kids and the Jesus juice. And I don't want to relive. Don't nobody want to relive all that, because they drove that man crazy. The man couldn't even sleep at night, and that's why he gone today, because he had to be put to sleep by drugs and shit. You know what I mean? I can relate to that because of what people are saying, and people, destroying his, legacy and everything. And it's awful. So I don't even, I really wish they would leave it alone right now, because this movie was just about his upbringing real quick.
What people got to realize too,
it was just very simple, to the point. Like you said, it was stuff we already know. Well, if you're a Michael fan, you already know.
But remember, real quick, not to cut you off, hold that thought, but also we have a whole new generation. So remember, they also want to depict this picket perfect sense to this new generation, especially all the Gen Zs and all the older people taking their kids and new people to have the perfect, like, oh, this is Michael. They're not going to get into the nitty gritty and all the craziness with parents, great grandparents taking their great grandkids. Yeah. Of course, they wanted, they're like,
this is a happy-go-lucky, let's just see how
it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood, baby.
How he came to be. and let's
well,
leave.
if Hollywood is trying to make
note.
movies for Gen Z, they got another thing coming because ain't no Gen Z going.
It's
to
not
the
about
movies.
making it for Gen Z.
And
It's introducing the new audience to Michael Jackson. So they obviously want to introduce.
I don't think that was the point of the movie, but that's a good theory. I will say the part, and spoiler alert again, the part where he does get a nose job, they could have gone deeper into that. They kind of, Charlie, you didn't see it, but like basically insinuated that the reason that he got the nose job was because Joe Jackson would call him Big Nose. So he decided to get it because he had a complex about his nose. Why couldn't they have like a part of him like talking to the doctor and being like, I really just want to get my nose done because I feel like it's too big. I want to look perfect, which they did that part. But then they could have said about his skin, I have vitiligo. I want to make sure that it looks the same. I wear a glove because I can't cover it. But they didn't do that.
Why do we need to go into that deep when we already know?
To debunk the rumors and the bullshit that people present day think about him from back in the day. So that way the younger people or whoever that doesn't know Michael Jackson, they're aware of the truth.
But I respect that because we're not trying to please these young motherfuckers. Y'all don't even know Michael like
it's
that.
It's like we as people trying to prove to naysayers
just said that this movie is to present him to new kids, and now you're saying that who gives a fuck about the kids? Like,
we don't need to go. The kids want to know.
This started to a fucking debate, y'all.
They can do research.
It is healthy. It's fine. It's different, but it's different point of views, and that's what we love about it.
That's why I don't think that the movie is for the younger generation or like to like.
Well, I'm not saying exactly that's what it was. I'm saying like part of it of why maybe that's why the movie was so picture perfect. Michael legacy. I'm saying
the
that's
only reason
this is not the sole reason
because the family did it. This is like if Teresa Giudice did a movie about her fucking family. She will make that shit perfect because at the end of the day, she don't want everything stays with family.
But that's a lot. But
that comparison is kind of crazy though. Teresa and Michael, that's crazy comparison.
No, but you got to think about it. She makes a good point where she says that people are not supposed to know family business.
Black people are like that. Black people do not want all the business put out. Somebody could be murdered in a black family and they will not go to the police. They will not say nothing because everything is getting it's supposed to stay low fucking key. You know what I mean? So
I hear your point of saying, well, talk about this to debunk this point so people don't talk about it. But then I relate this, and we making a comparison, is to regular people. Am I gonna live my life trying to prove a point and prove to people what the fuck they're saying about me out in the streets?
But it's Michael Jackson.
But that cost him.
But it's still the same thing. It's like why?
It's not. You can't compare. But this is
Barbie?
the thing. He's not around anymore to like justify or to debunk things. That's why like I don't feel like they took him into consideration when they made this movie. They literally were like, Michael, we're gonna put you in a good light, but we're gonna put ourselves in a good light too. Like that's how
do you think that he would want his family, to put all the dirt and the pain, the shit that caused him to die?
To be honest, I don't think that they should have put out this movie. I think that the reason that they put out this movie is because they're not getting money like that and because he sold his catalog.
Now that I'm not going to argue with you about, because that it could definitely be true. But I will say this, all the movies done about Michael before was not nowhere near on this kind of a level. And in 2026, when they have the editing skills and the technology that they have now to really make him look, a professional movie. And of course, at some point, Hollywood was going to want to do this anyway. They always want to do this when a big star died. At some point, they're going to want to make a real, not a BET, not a Lifetime, not a TV movie of your life. They're going to want a legit film of your life in the theater worldwide. You know what I mean? And this was a worldwide, maybe the biggest star to have ever graced this earth that God put on this earth. So of course they were going to want a film professionally by Universal Pictures. Shout out to Universal. I love them. I was there yesterday, but of course they were going to want a huge film of Michael done. And I don't see really why they need to put the scandal. Like I said, I would think it would be perfect the way it's left right now. I know they said it's gonna be to be continued, so that's letting us know they gonna bring the drama next. Get ready, buckle your seatbelts, motherfucker.
We'll see what comes.
I have low expectations. My final thoughts on this: this movie was on the scale of the Amy Winehouse movie, where they got a girl who couldn't even sing like her, who kind of looked like her, but at the end of the day, that movie was whack as fuck. It doesn't touch Bohemian Rhapsody because the difference between the Freddie Mercury movie and this one is that they literally laid it out. Freddie Mercury's life, the bad, the good, the greatness, the terrible parts, the sad parts, and even things that we didn't know. Whereas with Michael, it wasn't perceived that way. I feel like because it was family, there should have been more on the table. But those are just my 2 cents.
We'll see overall how if there's a part 2, how much money if it beats Bohemian Rhapsody. But something else I want to get into that of people you love. He's a scandal himself, and recently we spoke about this a little bit last week, I believe, on the show. But you being a huge fan of theirs, and I believe you got tickets.
Oh yeah, you already
into the Chris Brown and Usher of it all. I mean, Chris Brown could have at least matched Michael's moves in the movie. Without me seeing the movie, I think I said to say that. So Chris Brown and Usher are going on their R&B tour.
Hey.
Yo, the tickets are crazy. It's the scandal of it all out there. It's like,
how much
what are they doing for face value? Like, not even resell. Like, they're going for $800 a pop. Almost
for general admission?
Regular ticket, like starting prices.
Oh, wow.
Well,
You got tickets. What are your thoughts?
I do have tickets.
So you got tickets.
I ain't pay nowhere near no $800. Well, I did pay $800, but for 5 tickets. So that just tells you right there.
Why you got 5?
Be lying. Now, where I'm sitting, I ain't gonna tell you, but like that post I seen going around that meme with I Love New York, I don't give a fuck as long I'm in the motherfucking building, bitch. Like, you know what I mean?
This bitch is saying in the concession stands.
I don't give a fuck where the fuck I'm sitting. I paid less than $200 a ticket for 5 people to be in the motherfucking building and breathing the same air as them niggas, and that's all I got to say.
It's
so
gonna be a good show.
Where is it at? Where in LA?
And it's at a stadium. So to me, at a stadium, no seat is a bad seat. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I've been to the SoFi many times already. I've worked there. I've seen shows there. So, you know, I'm well, you know, versed with what the SoFi Stadium setup is. Yeah. So, you know.
What do you think the layout's gonna be? Like, is it gonna be Usher comes on and sings a song, then Chris Brown comes on?
I think they're gonna take turns, and then they're gonna finish the show doing shit together. That's what
they're kind of like Monica and Brandy.
Yeah,
that's a tour that I wish we would have gone to. Monica and Brandy.
Yeah.
Well, me speaking for myself, Monica and Brandy. I wish.
And I love Monica. Brandy gotta get it together.
I've always thought that they would make a Michael movie, and I always just thought in the back of my mind, it's fucked up that they can't take The Weeknd's voice and Chris Brown's dance moves and put them together, because I thought they would be able to kill it if they could combine and be one person. You know what I mean? Because The Weeknd, he got them vocals. A lot of The Weeknd songs, that's why I love him so much. It's because
sounds like Michael.
He reminds me, and he actually did a rendition of Dirty Diana. And I love that fucking song. This is when he first came out. You know, a lot of people don't even know. He did Dirty Diana, and oh my God, that boy's voice, what he can do with his voice too. But obviously he can't dance like that. But Chris Brown fucking can. So it's like, I wish they could be somehow genetically combined, and then they could be Michael, you know. But yeah, that can't happen. So it is what it is. But I always thought about them too. Like, if they could take his voice and his dance moves and boom, you know, magic, you know.
So what are you expecting from this show? Like, are you excited? Like, what are you going into it? Like,
man, I'm so excited. I've seen Usher in Vegas on New Year's Eve. I've seen Usher. And of course, I've seen Chris Brown since I was 16, 17. I've never missed a show. People are shocked about that. I fought in the club. I've got into physical altercations about this man. Okay, I do not play about that man. Okay,
I've watched
I have
this
been to
story.
every single show. So I'm just so hyped to see both of them, because Usher was like, when you were a young girl growing up, my granny living room was the stage. We had 106 in Park. We had all those shows, and even my granny loved the Usher. She would call him the Usher.
My grandmother loves Usher too, girl. Yeah.
She loved the Usher. She would call him the Usher, like in church and shit, the Ushers and shit, and with the gloves. And she would be like, "Oh, Usher, the bedtime song," when it would come on like BET late night and shit. And he was in that all white. We love Usher. So Usher, now I'm calling him Usher. Usher was like before Chris Brown. That was like my love. Like I loved Usher. I was in love with him. I was crazy.
He came out in like 1996.
Yeah.
Well, sooner.
No, he came out in 87.
90s, earlier with that a guy came back when he was only 15.
Yeah, that was like in the late 80s.
Yeah.
No, that's mid 90s.
That's the 90s. The 90s.
That was mid 90s.
Why did he have an album called 8701? I thought it was because
that was 2001.
Yeah.
No, I know, but why did he name the album 8701?
He explained it too back then when it came out. He was on TRL and he explained it. I can't think of it right now, but he did explain it. But yeah, my first Usher song that I fell in love with, my mom used to play him too, was "You Make Me Want to Leave the One I'm With."
That was a hit. That was a hit.
The one that visually, aesthetically, I was drawn to, and it made me fall in love with the song is
My Way.
No.
With Tyrese.
Yeah, What I Say Goes.
My Way.
The one with Tyrese, yeah, My Way. And he with the paint in his eyes.
My Way. That's My Way. That's the one where Tyrese was in it.
Yeah, Tyrese is in it. That album, it won me over. My mom used to play that, and I liked that thing a lot. But I'm excited for you. All in all, I'm really excited for you. I was thankful. I'm not going. I mean, I know a lot of people that was in the queues, in the pre-sale.
I was in the queue waiting.
A lot of people over here that I work with waiting. So I'm excited for you that you got it. But with that being said, getting to the king of pop, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Don't Stop Till You Get Enough musical Michael Jackson showdown. Y'all are going to be going head to head. I'm going to give y'all a lyric from Michael Jackson, or maybe even a word of a song, and whoever knows it first, just shout it out loud.
If we know the lyric or we know the name.
The song, the title of the song.
You got to know.
Okay, so I'm going to say either the lyric or a word of the song, and shout out the song. Whoever says it first, go ahead and shout it. So here we go. If you want to make the world
a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change in the mirror.
Barbie got a point. All right, next. Let's make it harder. She's got that look in her eye.
She's got that look in her eye. She's telling me, Dirty Diana.
Oh.
No. It's not Dirty Diana.
Melanie?
Hold on, I'm trying to think.
The Way You Make Me Feel. No.
She's got that look in her eye. Who is it?
Oh shit!
So you're not. So wait, the song is called "Who Is It?"
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? Is it a friend of mine? Who is it?
Hey, it's not all gonna be the
hits. To win, so go ahead.
All right, Barbie, you still in the lead. Next up, Susie got your number.
Blood on the dance floor. I was just listening to that because my baby Susie.
Throw pillow.
Next up, the kid.
Billie Jean.
Okay.
I'm not playing.
Alone.
You are not alone.
All right, one more.
With that weird ass video with Homegirl. Well, rest
with the wife. The
Yeah.
wife.
rest in peace, Lisa Marie.
Night.
Scream.
Got me working day and night. I'm so
Oh, I love
tired. No.
I mean, that's tricky, but Thriller.
That's my favorite.
All right, one more
That's
to finish
bullshit.
it off. Don't
Give
matter.
it to her. Give it to her.
Don't matter. Black or white.
All right,
Next time,
Barbie
huh?
won it.
Thank God, because that was the I really like that game.
All right, so it's that time of the show. We had a great show. Now it's time to end it with our Nope, Not Today. And since you're our special guest, Miss Byronique Barbie,
let me point with this finger.
take it away with your Nope, Not Today.
Nope, not today, honey. Stop using your friends as your free therapist. Nope, not today, motherfucker. I got too many friends, but one in particular want to send me voice messages every day complaining. Don't hit me up complaining about your life, your living situation, your car transportation situation, your family situation, and your career. If you're not making strides to do something about it, baby, do something about it. If you don't like the way your life going, you the only one could make that change. What Mike say? Make the change.
There you go. Nope, not today.
Not today.
Melanie, what was your Nope, Not Today?
You know, that's a great one. My Nope, Not Today was going to be the Michael movie. I didn't really like it.
Fuck.
But I will say my Nope, Not Today, just to piggyback off of that, people get real jobs. Stop trying to scam over here, fishing people's cards and taking people's money.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not today.
I done been scammed many times.
I just got my money back. Somebody stole $900 from me.
See?
Listen, my Nope, Not Today is, and I blame this guy for the scammers and everything going on, Donald Trump. Thank you, Lord Jesus, that I renewed my passport. That good mug. Oh, what a good passport with the smile.
Yes,
a lot of people were surprised that I was smiling. How did you get away with the smile?
It was nice.
Did it. But thank you, Lord, that I decided to renew my passport in 2025. Because hell to the no. Would I want to see that pig face president that some of y'all voted for on my passport? Nope, not today. By the time my passport expires in 9 more years, I hope there's a new Democratic president that has abolished that face off those passports. And that is my Nope, Not Today.
Wait, I just renewed mine. So you tell me
renew mine too.
On him? I just renewed it last week.
I need to renew mine.
Have fun looking at his portrait. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure y'all follow, like, subscribe, share, all those good things. We are back next week in another new episode. Make sure to beat it, and work those numbers up. Watch us, subscribe, and go see Michael Jackson. See y'all thoughts. I'll be seeing Michael Jackson when I come back. Adios. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, everything the Inner Circle podcast, and catch us every Wednesday live.